He was a communist. He was he was a communist comedian, and everybody knew he's a pinky.
You're a grand old flag. You're a high-flying flag. The first time I saw him was at a communist rally just outside Kiev. And I was then working at the old Belasco theater, not the new Belasco, it was the old Belasco. And he said to me, can you help me? And I said, no. And that's the last time I ever saw him.
You notice he never entertained in the White House during a Republican administration, although the Kennedys always had him. Lyndon Johnson, he was like a toy to Lyndon Johnson. He was like a court jester. And then he could make Lyndon really laugh. And he would just piss himself with laughter. You know? And but Nixon never found Richard that funny. And I'm not sure Jerry Ford did either, although Ford went through all the motions. He tried to just get on the Richard Lewis bandwagon. I think Jerry Ford liked being seen with Richard. Made him look good.
He's volatile, you know, his material has a half-life. You kind of think about it later and it hits you. It comes back to you. I've seen actually audiences laughing on the freeway because they've seen his show and didn't laugh at the time, but it hits them on the way home. And they respond then. He's gotten many standing ovations when people get to their house.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Lewis.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, thank you very much. I am so incredibly, well, here, I got to tell you, I just spent about a week with family, and I am absolutely thrilled and delighted to be here in front of strangers. You have no idea. Can't believe it. My mother, she put a satellite dish up. I said, gee, wow, she's into sports now. I can't imagine discussing like the pennant race with her. But it was, believe me, it was like, it had to be like a Jewish satellite dish. It picked up problems from other families. It's like... Oh. Gotta breathe. I gotta learn how to breathe. I want to relax. I'm glad to be here. I have pressure. I'm walking to the club. I'm walking to this club. I've been here years. It's unbelievable. I'm just trying to relax. I walk to the club, tippy-toe in, to avoid any kind of anxiety. And, hey, what happens? His car is, like, sort of driving down. There's a guy without his headlights on. So they have these, like, loudspeakers. It's like, you know, Yankee Stadium on top of the car. And the guy goes, or the cop goes, I get confused myself, but I'm to the cop car now. The cop goes, put on your headlights. So, oh, sure. The guy put it on, but he, like, went over a canyon. It was so counterproductive, you know? And I'm just walking alone. The cop sees me and goes, stop blaming your childhood. Which is like, oh, you know, kind of Did I see a friend of mine having a college fraternity brother? I was in fraternity for about an hour or so, and comes in with the shake. I thought the guy was like, should be arrested. It was, I forgot. Who remembers after 20 years, you put the pinky there and you do that? I mean, really. There's so much on my mind to remember the shake. It was unbelievable. And he says, I see your sign. You're doing the showtime and the thing and the improv. And I said, well, right, well, I sent you a letter. I sent the guy a letter weeks ago. If you're in business, you know how crucial the mail is. I have this problem with, well, I've lost a lot of work. I've lost friendships and lovers because mail never got there, you know, like Valentine's. And what's third-class mail? What is third-class mail? First class sucks so much. Third-class mail, they must strap a letter on the back of a mental patient and he wanders aimlessly through the... I'm home, I'm trying to relax. See, I wasn't going to wear this. I had a work shirt. I had a shirt that a grandfather, he left for me. It was, just weeks before he leaped off the Chrysler building. It's been a good luck shirt for me. And I went to the cleaners, this same-day service business all over the country. I'll tell you right now, it's like a neo-Nazi thing. It's not true. It had gigantic letters, it had same-day service, gigantic, okay? But if you have like a nuclear microscope and you go like very low, it's like, yeah, bullshit, no way in a million years. I come back, it's 4 o'clock, I'm a wreck already, you know, it's today, the day of the show. I wanted my grandfather's shirt. They don't have it. I said, I can't believe this. I can't. So they said, well, we'll call the plant. There is no plant. That's part of the conspiracy. There are no plants. His son, Paul, I think it's Paul, as if the name matters. Once again, I do needless things up here. But the guy was here, and You know, I don't do any impressions either. It's really, God, there's so many limitations to this act, but... God, I wish I did improv. I'd maybe do a Julius Caesar. Maybe I do a Julius Caesar with that. So here's the owner of the... You're very bright people. Why have to now geometrically show you where the owner was? It's frightening. I frighten myself. But anyway, the cleaners... Not the cleaners. The cleaners is here. Here's the cleaners. Why am I setting this up? Why I even went into this piece is a nightmare, quite frankly. No, I want to go into it because I'm angry. Here's the guy, the owner. Here's his son. He was like doing like plant impressions. It was humiliating. It was like, he was doing, again, it wasn't worth that. It was just something I wanted to share with you. So like, I get it back. They call me at like 6 o'clock today, and the shirt was ruined. They put some kind of card on it to cop out. It had like this stick figure of a person with like a, I don't know, like some kind of, I don't know, ice pack on his head. And they wrote whoops. They wrote whoops on it. What's whoops? What's whoops? I want my grandfather's shirt before he died. I don't want whoops, you know? Then they put their little bullshit, oh yeah, we couldn't get the kryptonite out. Yeah, sure. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I didn't want to. I finally went to sleep. And phone rings, 5:30 in the morning. And I'll tell you, oh, I just had a breath. Thank you. Thanks for allowing me. I apologize for breathing. That's why I'm in psychotherapy today. My mother calls me from Jersey, 5:30 in the morning. She has no concept of the 3-hour difference. She says, put on the Today Show. I can't put on the Today Show. Mother, Milky Way is still out my window. There's no Today Show on now. It's unbelievable. 3 hours early. She had the show. She just says, oh, 8:30, 7:30. She just, that's the whole thing. That covers for the whole faux pas there. As if faux pas is a word, but she says, break a leg. I said, thanks. She says, by the way, I don't know if you want to know this before the show. Well, it's a little late now. She says, well, Aunt Faye, she can't move her knuckles. I don't know if you know that. Well, so what do you want me to do? Well, I sent her a get well knuckle card. Oh, I don't know how to, where do I find knuckle cards now? I got a show to do. She can throw guilt without moving her conscience. It's unbelievable, my mother. Is this me? And I said, look, I love you, but just, just don't call me during the year. Oh, God. I'm sorry, did I spit, didn't I? You sure? You swear? I saw the Jarby come over there. You're in the spit lane, let's face it, Because I do, I was in Vegas once about 5 years ago, and Wayne Newton was there, and that was unbelievable. My spit was sort of like a little wimpo job, just sort of. He was like, what a dynamo. I actually dug it. It was like an amazing thing to see, but he was blowing people away. It was like a Sam Peckinpah. Oh, my sorry, I've just killed your husband. What should I do? He's so rich. Give him a pony. Give him a pony. Table 3. Give him a pony. And I was trying to get in the way. It was a nadir. I know, it's a low point, right? Why I have to give you 2 words for one? It's frightening. But I was literally trying to get in the way of his spit. It really was a low point for my life. And because he was giving things away. He was giving things away, and he nicked me. He just nicked me. I got like a toaster oven or something, I'm sorry. You all right?
He's got an incredible facility to allow his mind to wander and be stream of consciousness and be funny. And it's rare to see a comedian that work the way he does. The first time I saw him work, I thought, my God, he's a nervous wreck, and yet he's allowing us to see into his head.
I get to his house, and he says, get into the car. So we get into his car, he starts it up, and we start driving, but Richard is not holding the steering wheel. But the car is just going through traffic. It's really like Fred McMurray and Flubber. It's just moving through everything. 10 minutes later, we pull up in front of his analyst's office. He said, isn't this been happening for about 3 days now? Am I crazy or what? And I said, yeah.
I said to him, Richard, there is a test that we give in the Freudian school, and I hope you will comply with that. It is, let me ask you, if there were a fire in your house, and there was a child screaming, and a Rembrandt, but a very rare Rembrandt, right? Richard, what would you grab from the fire and run out with? And he said, my dick.
I've been all over, and it's just really, God, it's really amazing to me. You know, comedy is really, all of a sudden I'm doing a lecture at Hunter College. I don't know what happened to me. Oh, I know why. I know why I was doing that. I was doing this gig up in Maine about a month ago, and I got freaked out because, you know, some gigs are a nightmare. Some gigs are gigs from hell, and I walked up in the afternoon, I see my sign, and it was off near Maine. It was near Maine. And had tonight, Richard Lewis and King Crab. I went, King Crab? I was on the bill with King Crab. I said, maybe it's like some kind of rock group. I saw maybe guys, you know, saxophone guys coming out. But that was it. I was on with the entree. That was the whole trip. And I walk into the club, and the people go, hi, do we get, to the waitress, do we get French fries with the comic or not? We're not sure, you know. I'm doing my gig, not doing well. It was a nightmare, quite frankly. There's about 30 people there. In the middle of my act, it's right on the inlet or a sound with a bay. Who cares at this point? I hate the place. But a guy runs in from the back of the club wearing like a yellow raincoat, a slicker, whatever. And he screams out, the tuna is biting. And the entire audience just goes... I go to the Deep South, first time, I don't know, it was so frightening. Oh boy, it was like outside of Mobile, I don't know where it was, some college. It was, and colleges you would think are pretty hip, but I unfortunately get a little nervous when they're 17 years old now, you know, and it's great, but sometimes I feel like I have to change references in the middle of a line, which is sort of frightening, you know. You know, back in the 50s, Adlai Stevenson, I mean Madonna. And I wanted a nosh. I wanted to get a nosh. Can't we nosh? Aren't we allowed to nosh? I said, can I have a nosh? I'm very hungry. What's nosh mean? I went to a nosh panic. What's nosh? Isn't there a delicatessen? We think we have a delicatessen. We're not sure. Delicatessen. They had like the Billy Ray Bob Tannenbaum delicatessen. Forget about it. There's no way. There's no way. Matzo Brown Betty. There's no way. They had this giant Texan with a lariat. There's no way you're gonna get like a sandwich there. You know, you're not gonna get a sandwich. It's just they had like a Slim Pickens whitefish platter. They had to have like. I had to go to Nashville while I'm on this Judaic run here. Unbelievable. My friend, I'm not very religious, but my friend moves there. Nashville, unbelievable. This country and western, crazed. You know, his son, he lip synced the bar mitzvah. I've never seen anything like this in all my life. It was nauseating to me. It was nauseating. And they had like the service was performed by the Rabbi brothers. I have never seen this before in my life. And I'm staying in this hotel, a beautiful hotel. I couldn't make this up, I swear. I wouldn't be an asshole to make a reference up like this and then do a joke about it. But they had a guitar-shaped pool. I couldn't believe a guitar swimming pool. I was nervous. I just walked around because it got me scared. And then I walk around and I don't swim. That's a whole other problem. But I just it was so ill-conceived because the deep end was about because it was the neck of the guitar. It was like a foot and a half. That was it. So people were trying to do laps. It was just sort of this kind of thing. It was ridiculous. The babies were going wild. They were doing like water polo there, and they were flaunting it, you know. And Elvis, the king of rock, I guess, and he used to buy out this hotel when he came down from Memphis, and so I was told. And hey, why not? The guy was unbelievable, but nevertheless, it gets a little nauseating after a while because everything was dedicated to the king, and the room service menu. It was written like he probably ordered stuff like 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, put a lot of it, quite frankly. You know, it was like a Reuben sandwich with Reuben sandwich, but they spelled it like that. It was unbelievable. So I'm going to Reuben sandwich with French fries, Coca-Cola, blah blah blah. And then everybody comes up, the bell, Reuben sandwich, as if that sounded like that could have been Abe Vigoda. Let's face it, that was trying to do an Elvis impression. It's embarrassing. I really. I go to a place near El Paso, which, oh, what a thrill to be near El Paso. Whoa. I'm freaked out. I'm nervous, as you know, and I tried to get a prescription, a sedative, and they make me sit on a mechanical bull waiting for this Valiant prescription in the Can you imagine being on... you have to be in a nice place when you're away from your lovers. Otherwise, it's a nightmare. I was in this... This was really like a... well, to me, it was like I was in the low self-esteem inn. I just felt so... I felt so bad about myself. I mean, the inducement for people to come, they had outside on the marquee, they had, we have AM radio. Hey, let's go, let's go. It was like a Bates Motel training school. It was frightening. It was like the Todd Browning Freaks. People took it over after the movie, after they didn't make a sequel, and they walked around. The maids would come in. They would like, put your beds up, and then they would like put a spell on the room and run out of the room. I tried to go to the airport. I said, look, can you scare me at 8:15 tomorrow morning? It's very important. They had some bar from hell next to it, which I had to go. There was nothing to do. There was nothing to do. And they had a revolving restaurant, supposedly, that didn't spin. It was so, like an Alan Funt joke. Because I saw the same donkey and cactus out there. I know that either I passed away or something was going on there, okay? And then every 20 minutes, the maitre d' came out, okay, rotate your tables, and he like ran around. And there was a group of salesmen, unbelievable, the most repressed, depressed, suppressed, whatever. They were really down. These people were down, and they had like from 4 to 6, like Willie Loman hour. They had in this bar. They gave them free bowls of soup just to try to drop their head in there, and What do you do on the road? Saturday? First of all, I could have driven near El Paso. I could have gone 90 miles to see this production of Torch Song Trilogy with you Downs. I wasn't about to do that. I already saw Larry Holmes going for the march. He fought Norman. Who did he fight? Who did he fight? I think he fought a guy, Norman Fell or something. I don't know who he fought. Some guy. I don't know. Guy from Three's Company. He fought some actor who's Fell. He's great. Fell. He's a great actor. I love this guy. So that was a drag. They had this horrible cable that wasn't like a good cable. It was like a pseudo cable company that everything sucked. It was like they had like movies from hell. It was like the Three Stooges Relax. What kind of movie was this? They would go, nah, I'm too healthy now. I don't really think I have to do this now. It's the... And they had this guide. They had this guide. They think we're monkeys. People who write these guides. I mean, Streetcar was on, which I was thrilled about. And they write it in the guide. Imagine if you didn't know this play. What's on? Well, let's see. Oh, Streetcar named Design. A surprise visit from his sister-in-law throws off Stanley's bowling game. That's the kind of thing is this, Got a bad porn movie on. I left the TV on. I come in to a porn movie, which is sort of astonishing. Well, it's not astonishing. It's astonishing to me, not to you. You didn't experience with me. I don't know what. But I have a theory about foreign films, even in America. If it's the titles. I feel the titles have a lot to do. Like if it was like the janitor with the 3 penises, it would be put in the crummy movies. But if it was like the janitor de 3 penis, let's go to the Cineplex. It's amazing what that title will do, just to upgrade it immediately,
I was very sad when the day he came in and he said to me, Dr. Mehdi, I don't feel I'm making any progress. Progress, again, there's movement here. Again, if you watch him on stage, there's a great deal of head movement, which is very penis-oriented. But I said to him, but we are, Richard, we are making incredible progress. I went to your act last night, and I counted 50 dick references. When you first came to me, you were 150. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. I realized that I was limited at that point. No matter what I would do for Richard, he has mastered this to such a degree, he's so complex and so unique that even with all my technical and, I must say, very sophisticated abilities, that his dick was, in a sense, larger than mine.
I've never met his mother, but I think that, he has an inability. I mean, he does have these beautiful women all the time, and he makes love to them, but I don't think he's ever able to have a really serious relationship with a woman, and I think his mother is probably a great deal responsible for that. I've never met the woman, but she should probably chip in for some of his analysis, if not all.
I talk about family a little bit because I saw a lot of them last week, and God, it's amazing. They wanted to. It's unbelievable. I should really produce a show at Radio City, Night of 100 Anxieties. That's what I would call it. Or I should get a bypass, a family bypass. I heard about this. I read. There's a little doctor in Belgium. He just snips a little something from your whatever you have, that little brain thing, and all of a sudden, hey, I was raised by Dutch people. I go to my aunt's house in Manhattan. This is when the humiliation starts for me. Okay, I get to the apartment. She has a buzzer, all right? So what is it? How long does it take a person to go? It's Richard. Let me in. So she went. She didn't say anything. What she did do was buzz. I would say easily for about 4 or 5 minutes. It was humiliating. How long did it take? And you're in, and you're in. I feel like it's a put down. You know, who would take so long to make a decision to go in or not? I came there. Maybe Monty Cliff, some old method actors, you know, they were going, you know. I want in. I went there and I want in. Then she says, I go in there, she's 80 relatives in a studio apartment with a terrace, and I'm telling you, the landlords in New York, they must take an anti-laugh biotic when they sign contracts. These terraces, this was unbelievable to me. It was about a foot wide and about 8 feet long, and she had, everything was like adapted, like the dinosaurs didn't adapt. Once again, a negative kind of analogy. But like the hibachi was like she went to like the Slim store, some Upper East Side, like it was a slim, only strip steaks and little yams, you know. You couldn't enjoy it, only like the flying Gallinis. I love the terrace here. Relatives are jumping off, needless suicides. You can't, these slim terraces. It's a drag, nothing changes. The music, it was like, she pipes in, my aunt, it's like tension music. It's dun, 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 dun. It's always a lot of intrigue going on. Then we played musical arguments, which is a big game with us. When the yelling stops, try to get a bridge chair, but... Oh, God. I was sitting there watching my nephews and nieces' birthday party, and it was too negative. It's too negative. My mother holds up a glass of wine in front of everybody and says, "You're killing your father." It's a horrible toast. It's a horrible toast. And then things lightened up. My uncle, let's dance. He put on the soundtrack from The Pawnbroker, which is like, you know, in the den. Things are getting moodier and darker, and it's just... Fortunately, my mother, she created this, like, Guilt Express checkout lane at the party. Like, here, I let everybody down, and then you walk out like 3 or 4, then you're out of there. Otherwise, you're there for the entire trip there. It's like, I don't know. I went to a psychic. He said that during my adolescence, I had an out-of-family experience. That's what this guy told me. I should have got that artist Christo to cover the entire, you know, family, you know, for about $5. It cost a fortune. But I don't know. I sort of like him. I had to take him out to eat, and I had a date, too. What a schmuck I was to think that I could actually not have a nightmare with a new date in front of this family in a restaurant. Every restaurant automatically becomes the Embarrassment Inn. It's unbelievable to me. My mother opens the door like it's Wyatt Earp time, and she's so loud. I know she just doesn't know how loud she is. It's my problem that I care. I wish I didn't care that everybody was listening to this woman, you know. And she's like a bowling alley with lipstick. It's unbelievable to me. It's ridiculous. She opens the door. Yeah, I know, Anne Marie. She has that cyst removed. And I get so, and I try to divert attention. I go, hey, nitty nitty, and the cow's in the front. And I do a little card. How you doing? No, listen, I pick a card, any card. You know, it's like... Go to this Hawaiian restaurant. It was a nightmare, some rip-off restaurant. Drinks were $12. And food. They have these menus in this Hawaiian restaurant. You know, they write some bullshit about every hors d'oeuvre, every drink. It jacks up the prices unfairly. Like, you can't get a scotch. You have to get, I don't know, King Scotchahuno or something like that. It's like $18.95, and they bring this gigantic glass in with a Hawaiian doll in the glass, okay, with like a little spear and a battery pack, and it's leaping out of the glass. And I'm dodging my own drink for 12, you know, who needs this? It hits me in the eye, it's killing me. Luckily, there's eye patch vending machines in the back there. But I took out a spectacle insurance policy, so I'm covered for the day, but I just, my family, my mom, I sort of love her, but things don't change. When I go back to a house, it's wild to me. She has this cleanliness thing that I have now, unfortunately. The dog, before it killed itself, she made this dog wipe its paws off before it came to the house. Just to me, it's sad. The dog got so nuts, it developed like a little nervous cough before it barked. It was sad. It was sad to see that. The dog used to go, I hate to see that. So I get to her house and she's vacuuming the front lawn. I don't understand it. How does she have a Hoover with a garden attachment? Where does she find this thing? And everything smells. Everyone smells. Why not? She has, I once bought her Airwick earrings. So every room, every place she went was cool, you know? She had a cottage cheese problem. I tried to, well, she had to smell cottage cheese in the stores. I could see if you're home alone, okay? You smell. But she went right to that dairy case. It was like, but she was a big shot, quite frankly. Everyone knew because she knew. I really respect her for this because she knew when they were jerking us around. Because in that dairy case, they put the crap up front. You have to make a complete fool of yourself because, you open the case and the cottage cheese has, like, on the bottom, like, hello from Ike, on the front there, You have to get, like, the guy from the Atomic Energy Commission with isotope. I'm going to get what I deserve, you bastards. You can't. It's impossible. So she knew that, but she was, she made a fool of herself there. I mean, she would smell everybody's cottage cheese and said, no, don't get this one. Go back further. She had pictures, like, on Safeway stores with, like this and like this, like FBI things. And I was cesarean, and she always, it was a tough birth, I guess. But she thought, I don't know, I know exactly. I know exactly what a tough birth. But I came out of, I don't know where, somewhere in an inappropriate spot, and it just, I feel like a little touched, quite frankly, by being a cesarean. I feel everybody, I feel that I've spoken to people who've been cesarean, I mean, like, if you go to a movie, and everybody's, like, walking out the front, I go, no, trust me, there's a hidden stairwell,
I think Richard is one of the few Gentile comedians who's really tapped into the whole gestalt of Jewish humor, Jewish comedy in our society, which is remarkable considering his background. The schools in Switzerland and the, Presbyterianism, all that stuff. And then just to be able to riff so well, to get into that mindset of the Jewish people.
Well, when he gets on stage, he doesn't stop. He's a 24-hour fire drill. He's a pop, 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 pop. It's one thing after another. And it's hard to, you've really got to, when you watch a performance of Richard's, you've really got to pay attention because he's so quick that what happens is as you're laughing about the last thing he said, he slips 5 more in while you're laughing. And it's just a continuous laughter.
Few of us realized he was taking that chance and becoming a comedian until he would ask others of us to join and go to these clubs for performances, groups of people gathering in darkly lit places for a 2-drink minimum. It was very, very painful at the time. I didn't know. I wasn't taking part. I would perform. We all would perform, and people would yell at things, and you would respond. I didn't realize what it would lead to. I didn't realize that he's this underground whole group of people in other clubs like this, with owners of clubs organizing and actually setting up what they call the road, where you go out and spread the word of comedy and of the dark cult of comedy, this neurotic, Jewish-based comedy that goes beyond just now, that actually attempts to probe deep into their own soul. And I became part of that, going to a place called Cantor's, sometimes to eat unusual Hasidic foods after performing comedy. All of this, part of the ritual, part of the whole feeling of it. I guess truth is I'm a comedian too. God damn it. Stop, turn off the camera. That's all I can say. Seriously, where are you from?
My grandparents were a trip, and I really, whatever that means, what an expression that is. It can mean a million things. But, God, my grandfather was 70 years older than I was. I was 5, he was 75, I was 10. He was, kept going up like that. He was very consistent about that. And he's a depressed guy. He left his grief to science, which I felt was like a major, major thing. He used to sleep like this. It was said. He used to go, oh, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, I'm nowhere. And he wore his pants up to his neck. This is what I didn't understand. That was what I thought a man was. His pants were over here, so his arms came over here, his balls were hanging over here, his eyes were here. Who was he? Who was this man? And he had breath from hell. It was frightening. We all have bad breath, but he was like, he could wipe out like a nation. It was frightening. And you could be in the greatest mood, and as soon as Grandpa would talk to you, it was over. I go, oh, I got a great prom day. Oh, how you doing? Oh, but I don't have a goal. I don't know what I'm going to do after I get out of school. And he passed away, and I had to leave, like, after death mints on the grave, and it was like... You know, that was very nice, but you know, when I pause, it's just for health reasons. I don't really drink the milk. He used to belch, though. Belch from hell. It was like, when he would belch, I'm not going to do a belch impression, but as if I could, but when he would do a belch, I was convinced that like 3,000 miles away, like in Zaire, deers would like turn around like in the forest, because it was like really... And he talked in a language from hell. This is what I couldn't understand. He would say, hey, thanks, Grandpa. I'm sure that means something to poltergeist. You know, what does that mean? I was so humiliated when friends would come in, you know, and I asked my grandfather, and I just he was lecturing on a Little League game. It was so sad. And I was embarrassed. I ran to the television. I got the little rabbit ears. I glued the rabbit ears on to get good grandpa reception. That's what I did. And he was, and I would like shake it around his head. I want a club sandwich. He wants a club sandwich. And then we go. And my grandmother, well, my grandfather's name was Yikva, which meant, Jewish name meant killed by an avalanche. I don't know why he needed that. So his wife was Yikvet, they made it some kind of dating service, which meant, watch out for the avalanche. They were perfect for each other, you know, and she was a great woman. She wore buns. I'm not against buns, but she had about 17 buns wherever she, on her head. It was like a Danish circus act, and she kept them spinning like the old Sullivan Show. It was wild. She had lipstick from hell. I don't mind lipstick on anybody, but it started on her lip, and then it sort of left her face and sort of went around the building, and it wound up on other people's, homes, like in other communities. What's this lipstick here? It was like a Nova episode, the lipstick from nowhere. It was like... everything was a good omen with her. That's one of the reasons I loved her. Like, Grandma, vampire bat just sucked all the blood of cousin Phil. She'd go, oh, that's great. He'll go to dental school. I mean, she always found something. She was sort of a psychic. She had like a Walker divining rod. It was really strange. She went, Grandma would wind up like behind fish markets. She'd find things like underneath. And she was short. I'm a short man, but she was literally... I'd say about 2.5 in heels, okay, and she always wore veils from Russia. So she looked like the roadrunner going to a wake. It was like unbelievable. And she tried to drive the car. This was what killed me. I hated going with my family on trips. We went to Florida. First, my mother would drive. Forget my grandma. My mother would drive. She was so paranoid. She always thought the left lane was like the Sirhan Memorial Lane. That's what she thought. She thought it was there only for people just to cut us off. That was pretty much the goal. So she had her hand on the horn for 25 hours. And frightening sound, right? We went crazy. But geese used to hear the sound. They loved it. They used to they thought it was a sexual thing. They used to hover over the car in the most incredible positions I've ever seen. And one goose fell in love with my mother somewhere near Virginia Beach, and it was courting my mother. It flew real low. It was like a De Niro goose. His hair was slicked back, a little bouquet of flowers, a little curled up, and he got right by the right window. I went, do you care that I'm a goose? Does it bother you that I'm a goose? Well, the frightening thing was she got hot for a second. I went, oh, God, I'm going to have a goose stepfather now. I mean, it was tough enough bringing him into, arts and crafts, but that was my goose stepfather, and he'll quack when he likes my work, and he'll leave. And when my father would drive, he backed out of the driveway on cruise-o-matic. Some kind of old... He pressed about 190 miles an hour in reverse, and it was like 3 Gs of... It was like adolescence in space while hovering around the car there. Then he would wake up like 100 miles away. Where are we? He'd take a shower in the car. It was like a whole environment he created for himself. We'd be in the back seat. He would start driving regularly and then spit at him. Believe me, on the turnpike with kids in the back seat. It's unfair to children to spit. The spit makes a complete U-turn in the front. And then we're in back there with beef farmer masks on. And then my grandmother tried to drive, and it was frightening. It was, first of all, she bought a driver's license, which is pointless. I mean, it must have been about 12 by 20, in a big frame with a picture of a czar raping people trying to parallel park. It was ridiculous. And she was under the wheel. She was under the wheel of the car. No one could see her. I mean, it was embarrassing. We get to a light. She's under the wheel. Cops will go, oh, my God. It looked like a bad Disney movie, like the grandma with no neck or something like that. So I had to go to shop class, and I built like a grandma face, and I glued it somehow on the wheel so it looked like something was going on there. It was scary. It was scary. But, you can't live live with family your whole life. Like, apparently, I moved out here. I left the family, and I live in a predominantly anxious section of town, like in Santa Monica. I don't know. I see these people around my apartment. They have kids. See, I'm in my 30s now. I always try to see, what am I going to do? Am I going to have a child? I'll be like one of these old pops. It depresses me. Like, I'll get married in 10 years, and she'll have a career, have a kid. Maybe I'll be 63. He'll be in Little League. I'll be 111. And, it's ridiculous. I'll be 111 when he's in Little League. They'll have to wheel me in like a glass bubble. It makes me depressed, Your son's bunting, Mr. Lewis. Give me my bun pill a minute. I just got... And I feel stupid. I don't know enough. I don't want to die yet. I don't know anything. I had this dream of like being on the deathbed. I have to be surrounded by pals who have to just give me as much info as fast as possible. Otherwise, I'll feel like an idiot when I die. Like, well, what's racket, pigeon steering? Well, I need. But on the other hand, you get to this point, if you're a man or a woman, as if I had to, describe how many genders there are, you get set in your ways. I'm eccentric. I know I can't imagine having someone wanting to live with me now. I can't imagine lying in bed with someone and she's like, it's 2 a.m., where are you going? Oh, I know, it's 2 a.m., I have to skip to my loo. I mean, who's going to want to put up with this, at this point? But, yeah, I don't know. My ex was very healthy, and God, I'm really in touch with how unhealthy I am. In fact, my shrink said there's an unhealthy man trying to get out of my body, which is surprising how. But I'm a hypochondriac. Even as a kid, in the schoolyard, I used to eat M&Ms one at a time with a glass of water. It was embarrassing there in the park.
Richard Lewis is an enigma. He's a paradox. He's a puzzlement. He has the ability to get women, beautiful women, to have sex with him, and anybody who could get these women, you'd think, well, he'd have it made, and he'd be relaxed and calm and together, but just the opposite's true. He makes love with very beautiful women and is a nervous wreck.
I don't think Richard likes to be seen in public with women. I think his experiences with women must be so horrible that they have to be kept in private. I think there's a lot of huddling and crying and triptychs to Esalen.
Somewhere there's a shiksa with his name written on her. She's waiting for him, some bionic, guilt-free woman who will accept him for who he is and the other people he carries with him. Someone who will every night make him feel good, and then in the morning make him feel shitty again. That's what he needs, someone that special. I've seen Richard go through a lot of unusual women, and it's been a good experience for him. It's kind of like, well, self-abuse with sandpaper. He has that kind of wonderful look of, I'm in love, and then the next week, I'm a bitch.
But I broke up with this woman, and God, I'll tell you, believe me, I am no gift, but this was Satan-ed. This was a frightening... they're all in that. She's in the who's who in torment. I'm convinced of this. It was a nightmare, and I went up. My shrink said to go up to Santa Barbara. There's a little retreat, Wounded Jew. I don't know if you know that place up there. But now I'm not with her, which is good. I'm between pain, quite frankly, and I have a low threshold for joy. That's my problem. I just don't understand. When it's over, it should be over. I can't believe that why do I stay around? It's like I put molasses in these crummy relationships. I paint the house, and I just stay in these sucky relationships for 3.5 years. I need a high school track coach to get me out. Go, and then maybe I can break out this. She said to me, I don't like you. I don't want children from you. I never liked your family. And I would say, what are you cranky? What's cranky? Why do I call her? It's sad. When your exes, you call them. They're not thinking, they're not thinking about us. I mean, I'm walking around, should I call now? She's selling Mardi Gras tickets. She has no idea what I'm doing in my, And I say, how you doing? She goes, who is this? It's Richard. She said, Richard who? That right away, it's like a humiliation. Richard Lewis, yeah, I do comedy. I knew her for a long time, so it starts to get sad. And I said, why are you calling me? And I said, well, it's the anniversary of the cotton gin. I just figured it was time to... It's amazing. Well, I don't know. I live so far in the past. I try to resolve all these bad relationships. It's sort of tragic. I really live way, way in the past. Shrink said that the latest I could ever die now is 1969. It's ridiculous. I call people back like from 30 years. Hi, remember that thing in the jungle gym? Hey, I was upset. I had a popsicle in my eye. I'm sorry. And why do I change my life after I break up? Why can't you be together, you know, like an independent person when you're with somebody? As soon as I break up, I have all new goals. Are we through? We're done now, right? I want to be a rodeo clown. I want to be a rodeo clown. And dating, isn't it possible to date again? I mean, I'm so burned out. I get burned out. I'm sitting in a restaurant. I'm just sitting. It's like lovely. And she says to me, this woman, really terrific. Well, it's over now. She says, I don't think I'm in the mood for an appetizer. And I said, don't jerk me around. Like, I can't fall in love anymore. That's not the greatest. I can't. My infatuation period now is about 3 seconds. You know, because I get scared. It's gonna all go into hell. You know, so I'll say, boy, you're incredible. You're gonna destroy me. I mean, that's what happens to me. Because it has happened to me. Again, no gift, but nevertheless, it's happened. I thought I was in love. I thought things were great. Honey, what do you want to have for dinner? And she would turn around, blood from a lamb. Oh my God, you know, it had happened. There should be warning signals, don't you think? To know that the thing sucks and to get out. I mean, my friends knew the Satanette. They actually had like a candlelight mistake vigil outside my apartment. They were going, no, no, no. But it didn't work for me. Didn't work for me. I said, honey, I think you're drinking a little too much. You might have a drinking problem. She says, no, I don't. Where's my dog? Spritzer. You know, I knew that. She made Freudian slips from hell. Freudian slips from hell. She would say stuff to me like, vermin, I mean honeybee. You know. She couldn't get close. Look, I have trouble getting close. Intimacy is the toughest thing to achieve in a relationship. But she panicked. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, after the first week, I went, boy, you look lovely. She went, don't smother me, scum. Which is, you know, enough. She always tried to be argumentative. She would try to be controversial. She insisted that Yoko broke up Martin and Lewis, which how much was. She lied to me. She lied. I think she was cheating around. I saw little lines in her back. I said, fine, tell me. It's over. I don't care. I'm just curious. Tell me. She said, no. She didn't have the nerve to tell me. She said, no, I fell on a rake. You know, come on, please. She was an actress, and she was an actress, waitress, hostess. What a tough gig. Just being an actor and an actress is tough, but the waitress thing is tough, and the hostess thing. But then she finally, you know, left the hostess thing. But it was hard to be with her. I mean, we go into a restaurant, and she would say, table for me. Table for me. It was like embarrassing. She got no work. She blamed me. Look, it's a bitch to be an actress or an actor. So few people get jobs. But, you know, the truth, she did a porn movie. Some sleazy director got her in. He said, I'll change the name of the movie. I mean, the movie initially was Suck Me, Take Me, Lick Me. And then he added, and give to UNICEF. And he added that, and then he did. So, you know, I felt the relationship went into the toilet because, you know, she wasn't having work, you know. And she dragged me to all these acting parties, and everybody was depressed. We used to get invitations, come be bitter from 8 to 11, you know. She went comparison lead shopping every Sunday. Oh, God. She took me to an acting class. Oh, God, an improv class. Unbelievable. 300 people in like a Roman amphitheater. And why this guy chose me, and they make the people do a scene and take on a character in a second. It's frightening to me how people can do this. I mean, the guy drags me out, and he goes, okay, Mr. Lewis, he says, you're an Aborigine, you own a pharmacy, and you're bisexual. Go. You know, it's like, it's impossible. So my ex she was in trouble. She was in trouble with acting, and she just, oh God, she took on all these personalities. She didn't know who she was. I mean, I picked her up at an airport. It took about 3 hours to get out. She answered every courtesy phone. It was embarrassing. Call for Dr. Mark Twillman. Oh, that's me, honey. Oh, God. So she took lithium. Lithium is fine, you know, because her, you know, it was a mood elevator. But before the lithium, it was a nightmare. I mean, on a date with her before the lithium, she'd go, I want to go to an amusement park. No, let's go to a Bergman movie. It was like, it was very frightening. And, she had an animal in the house that hated me. This was a thing that cats I happen to like a lot, but she had a cat that loved her ex and was like, first of all, he was a rapist, sexist, maniac cat that was out to get my ass at every turn. I mean, he literally leaped at me. But when she was in the house, he did the whole trip with the yawn, like he was doing a cat number. She would split. It was like Travolta time, forget about it. He was like a maniac. And he was raping everything in the neighborhood. I had to get him fixed. I'm very squeamish about this. I didn't know what getting fixed mean. I didn't know what to do. She was crying. I looked in the yellow pages. What do you look under? I looked under clip one ball off. What do you look under? I finally found Dr. Nudo, some psycho veterinarian. You should see this ad with a cat coming down a sawmill with this guy with a handlebar. So I go, Filippo, come on, we're going to go for a ride. He thought he was getting laid. Forget about it. When he saw that sign on the highway, your balls are history 5 miles, it was like, I had to put like chicken wire. It was like a police van going there. It was like, and when you're going to lose your balls, you go through some major, major changes. He was going, I always want to learn a second language. It's too late now, I'm sorry. But the whole thing comes down to me for sex. Sex is a key. It should be a great thing in your life, and I want it to be in my life. But I'm concerned about dating. It's very tough to date. Diseases are I don't know. I just one night stands. You're with a strange guy, a strange woman. You don't know. I mean, like, is it worth it for that one moment of ecstasy to wake up? Oh my God, there's a fez going out of here. And there's one woman said, I haven't made love in 3 months. Me neither. I just want companionship. We make love. Next day, the call right from the clinic. Hi, I'm sorry. I have this thing. You have to take this. You told me you haven't made love. No, the doctor said it was either from oral sex or witnessing a meteor shower. It might have been witnessing. And you have to take this. You can't drink for 118 days. You have to mow people's lawns. Oh, God, it was like a, Are there any side effects? Well, you might turn into a cigar. 2 people did in Sweden with that. So my ex breaks up with me. She's bad-mouthing me all over town. She told my friends that she had the fake foreplay, which was humiliating. I tried my best. Now I feel guilty for having a bad sex life with her, and I don't allow myself even to have an orgasm now unless I commit to about 6 to 8 weeks of community service, which I feel is sort of a... And this birth control stuff is so unfair for women to have to go through these things and the things. I don't even know what they look. I mean, they scare. I mean, the sponge and the thing and the thing and the it's unfair. And yet, I feel very insensitive about this. I said to this woman, look, you don't use anything. I'm curious. She said, I know my body. I said, what do you use? I just have to know. She said, a rabbit's foot. It was not enough for me. She said, it's not enough for me. I'll never be able to function. She said, well, I know my body. What do you mean you know your body? She said, a little chart. Okay, the aurora borealis is over here. I don't have my period until 1985, and you have to wear a wizard's hat on Wednesday. I can't. It's, So I went to a sex counselor. Forget about that. Oh, God, he prescribed, like, to try to get intimate again, like the first couple of weeks, hay rides, I mean, it went too slow for me. It's way too slow. And the simultaneous orgasm, I know it's crucial. I don't know, maybe it is. I don't even know anymore. I didn't even know she had an orgasm. I said, did you have an orgasm? I don't know. We shoot a flare over the house soon. I have to know. We tried that orgasm at the same time. The doctor told her to shoot a 2-minute warning in bed, which it took away all the heat, you want to be hot. You can't stay hot the whole time. That's why I don't You can't be hot with the same person forever. You have to dip. I know it gets sort of sad, when you say, oh, tonight, you be the caterer, I'll be the insurance man, and you come in with a Chef Boyardee hat and a spatula. It's time, then it went south already, And I want to express myself sexually. That's the key, to be able to be myself. I can't. I yodeled once. I had a yodel breakthrough. I yodeled. And then she came in the room, and I panicked. I got tongue-tied, because I can't be me. I become like Jerry Lewis. I can't talk and make love at the same time. I go, I really let Hellman. It's sad. I have it, Hellman. It's sad. It's just. Well, how do you do it? The best I could ever do, in the hottest moment, making love with this woman, I said to her, you're zany and delightful. I said that. I'm going to get off. You've been a great audience, and thank you very much.
It's amazing how he's made this neurotic image work for him over the years. I guess I met him on a golf course, actually, originally at a country club. And he's practically a scratch golfer. And we were having martinis, and I don't know. He turned me on to a couple of good, like, stock things.
I don't know what to say about Richard. He's very special to me. I went to his house one day, and it's crazy because he has nothing but closets. So he can be in, out, in. Better late than never. I don't know. He's a special, special young man. I mean, a little maudlin, but who isn't nowadays, the way things are? I guess things are tense. All of us are tense. I guess the man just has a little faucet with Valium in it. I shouldn't say Valium. You're not allowed to say faucet, are you? Oh, God, what can you say? He's a doll. He's kind of like a combination of Charlton Heston and Rula Lenska. That doesn't make sense. Let me take that back.
Well, my time is up, and I would just like to say this, that Richard Lewis, if you are watching, and I know you are because it is your Showtime special, come back to analysis. You need it.